Okay. So today we are going to hear from one of the clients from Rhemma who got an approval, I think, yeah, definitely this year, but his application was submitted last year. Um, before we talk about that, maybe just a few minutes to let you know that Rhemma is a consulting firm that helps clients with both EB-1 and NIW adjustments of status related issues. And so if you're wondering what Rhemma Consult does, that is what Rhemma Consult does on a day to day. Would also ask you that if you are just joining the meeting, kindly mute yourself so that it helps the flow of the conversation because the background noise is going to be reduced. Right. Yeah. That being said, the format is going to follow that we will have an questions and answer session with James, who got an approval. I'm going to be introducing him in the next few minutes. And from there, when everything is said and done, usually there will be a couple of minutes that will be open to everyone. And if you have any questions, as much as time can permit, we'll try and answer those questions as well. And so just make sure that you jot some of your questions down so that after the interview with James, you get to ask all your follow-up question or questions that comes on. Okay, so I think it's past 6 minutes past our time. So again, the direction of my face is weird because I have a lot of screens. So um, that shouldn't be a problem. But again, James is one of our clients that got an approval for the NIW. And today he's going to share some experience and some of his journey to serve as a motivation and inspiration to those who are thinking about the whole process. And that also gives us the opportunity to broadcast what Rhemma Consult is doing on a bigger notes. We've had approvals for both NIW and EB-1, so that should give you an idea of the expertise that follow. That being said, I'll give James an opportunity to briefly introduce himself. So James, if you can unmute yourself and then give us something little about who you are.
All right, thank you so much for the opportunity, Doc. As I always mention your name, Doc, I'll call you Doc once again. Right, so my name is James. I'll just keep with my first name. So my name is James, and I came to the United States in 2022, July. I had my bachelor's in Ghana, as well as my master's. So I had my bachelor's in bachelor's in education, Bachelor of Education in Health, Physical Education, and Recreation. And then I also had my master's in Physical Education, all from the University of Cape Coast. And I'm currently pursuing my PhD in the United States. Yeah. So basically that's all about me.
Whenever I hear anybody say University of Cape Coast, I get too excited because it's the only best university in Ghana. And if you didn't attend that university, then it's up to you. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing that information. That being said, James, how do you feel about the approval notice?
Well, I feel very happy about it. Like, I feel very fulfilled that finally I have been approved, even though I knew that I would do this sometime in the future or something. But I'm very happy that finally I've gotten approved through Rhemma Consult.
Okay. Thank you. And then are you satisfied with the outcome?
Oh yes, I am very satisfied with the outcome. Of course, I was looking for approval. And so if I have the expectation, if I have what I was expecting, then of course I'm very satisfied with the outcome of their verdict. Yeah.
Okay, that is legit. But how did you learn about Rhemma Consult?
Okay, so I first got to know about Dr. Emmanuel Barton-Odro, and I got to know about him on LinkedIn. So the first time, even though I knew him back from the University of Cape Coast when he was in Ghana pursuing his bachelor's in mathematics, I knew him. So when he came to the United States and pursued his master's and PhD, right after gaining the PhD, I think he applied for his green card and then got approved. And he shared it on LinkedIn. So by then I had also been here for just some few months. So when I saw that information, or when I saw that news on LinkedIn, I sent him a message that, oh, congratulations, Doc. I'm very much interested in doing this in the near future. Can you help me? Is it possible that you would help me also apply? But I didn't receive any reply from him. But I got to know about Rhemma Consult when the information was put on LinkedIn that he's going to interview one of his clients called Kofi. So that is when I realized that, okay, so all this job has grown into a consult. So that is where I got in touch with Rhemma Consult, and then we started work.
Okay. And then, if in case you've not watched the previous videos, Kofi is one of the clients all the way from Ghana that got an approval and came all the way from Ghana to the United States. So that gives you an idea of who Kofi is. This whole process can be done anywhere. You can be in any part of the country, any part of the world, and it's really based on requirements. And if you meet those requirements, you can easily get an approval. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing how you did meet Rhemma Consult. I mean, one of the things that I know you said you met Rhemma Consult through the interviews that I had with Kofi, one of my clients that got an approval. I guess what convinced you to actually decide to use Rhemma Consult? Like, why did you decide? Why didn't you go anywhere else? Why did you decide to use Rhemma Consult?
Yeah, of course, there are other places that I could have gone, but I felt that from the stories that came from Kofi's manifestation, I realized that, oh, why should I go to somebody that I don't know? I know Dr. Barton-Odro. I know him from University of Cape Coast, and I know what he did over there. His legacy is still there. You can go and check. So I realized that, okay, since I know him and I know what he can do, and I've also seen the kind of works he has done. So why don't I just give him the work to do for me, because I know that he can do it. So I didn't have a second thought. I only thought of, okay, let me give it to him for him to work on it for me. So yeah, I never had a doubt about Rhemma Consult's capabilities. So that is why I gave the work to Rhemma Consult.
Okay. And thank you for that confidence. And if you just joined, Rhemma Consult have had a lot of approvals. And the last time I did accounting with one of my associates, we were getting to over 75 approvals for NIW and over 19 for EB-1. So definitely a lot of them coming through. So yeah, that gives you some hope and evidence. And then there are a lot of interviews that are coming up. For example, March 2nd, we have one with another client, Dr. Salisu as well. But thank you again for sharing. I know, James, you've said something about your background, but for the sake of those who may just be joining, can you tell us about your background and whether you are confident in a straight forward approval?
All right. So I have a bachelor's in health and physical education, and I also have a master's in physical education, and I'm currently pursuing a PhD in kinesiology. I would say having a straightforward approval, I was kind of skeptical, even though I knew that I had the portfolio that when you saw my portfolio, you said, oh, this is a straightforward approval. But I was still skeptical because I didn't want to be complacent. You are just applying for something and you don't know what could be the outcome. You could have gotten request for evidence, but there was no request for evidence. Yes, I believe that my portfolio was a solid portfolio, but I wasn't still 100% sure that I was going to be approved.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what, if you want to share, why were you a little bit skeptical about the whole?
Yeah, I was skeptical because I didn't know, or I don't know whoever is going to vet the petition. So if you don't know who is going to vet the petition and you don't know the qualification of the person, definitely you feel a bit tensed, you feel a bit anxious about the result. So and it's normal for everybody to have that kind of feeling, because I don't know who is going to vet it. So I think that was a natural feeling for me, even though I had the portfolio which you saw and you said, oh, this is a straightforward approval. I was happy that you said it's a straightforward approval, but I was still keeping my cool until the final verdict came out.
Okay. That is normal. And so one of the things that I would say is that you came in the US, I think what
2022 July. Yeah.
2022 July. So do you have any publications in the United States? I know you have publications, but do you have any of them that you published while you were in the United States?
Yes. Some of them that I co-authored, I was here in the United States when I started my PhD. But the work actually started when I was in Ghana. Most of them started when I was in Ghana. But yeah, there were a couple of them that I worked on when I came here. So when you find the article, you see that my affiliation on the papers, on all the publications, on most of the publications were also my current university, as well as University of Cape Coast.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So you worked with us for about a month, right? So how do you describe the services of Rhemma?
I think the level of professionalism is really high. Rhemma is really understanding, like knowing that I am a student. They realize that, okay, I have challenges in terms of finances. So we went to agreement that, okay, you make payments, first payment, second payment, and third payment. So this is what I really admired about Rhemma Consult in terms of finances. But they were also very professional in dealing with me. Yeah.
So how do you feel about the timeline of the write-up itself, of the whole petition, the timeline?
Yeah, in terms of the timeline, Rhemma Consult was really apt. Like, they were right on point. I was told that, okay, so I will start. Rhemma Consult told me that I'll start writing the petition on 1st November. The petition, the first draft came to me on the day before the 1st November. I said, wow, this is serious. And when I read through the first paragraph, I said, oh, so this man is also a lawyer. That is what I told my wife. I said, whoa, because after reading the first paragraph, I realized that, okay, you are serious, like you are in a serious business. So yeah, the petition was on point. And you told me that after the first petition, when you send it to me and I read and make comments or inputs, you gave me timelines that, okay, this is the first draft. I want to hear from you the next day by 5 o'clock a.m. And I also did my part and then try to review the document and then send it to you on the same day. So it was really on point. Like in terms of the timelines, Rhemma Consult was really on point. Yeah.
For clarity, we are not lawyers, but we are immigration consultants. But I understand why you would say that because of the level of professionalism and the write-up itself and using the legal framework,
Yes,
finance,
the legal words. Yeah.
and how the clients meet those things binded by the laws that they are required to adjudicate. So I completely understand how you feel about that. So I guess did you feel transparency in the whole process?
Oh yes, definitely. Because Rhemma Consult realized that they were dealing with a student, even though the person is a client, but he's still a student. So I felt that I was being treated transparently because I didn't have all the money that was required to start the actual process or to finish up with the process. But Rhemma Consult reasoned with me, and then we set up payment plans. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I would say that would you recommend our services to others?
Most definitely, I will recommend Rhemma Consult to anybody who needs this kind of help, because yes, it is possible that you can do it on your own, but the after reading the whole petition, I realized that if I had done this on my own, I think I would have suffered, or I would have struggled, and I didn't want to do it on my own, because I knew Rhemma Consult would do a better job than myself because of these legal terms and highlighting all there are certain highlights that Rhemma Consult did. And I realized that, oh, okay, so these are the things they do in this kind of job. So, and I wouldn't have known all this. I would just write it straight up, and I wouldn't know the technicalities, the simple or the small technicalities that come with this kind of job. So yeah, I recommend it to anybody who needs help in terms of their immigration status, wanting to change from a student to a green card, either through the EB-1 or through the national interest waiver pathway.
Okay. So can you share specific aspects of our services that really stood out to you during the collaboration?
Yes. One is attention to detail. From the first day till the last day I submitted the petition, Rhemma Consult was really attentive to simple details. For instance, when I was doing the reviews, there were certain words that I thought, as a layperson, I thought that, oh, Rhemma Consult was wrong, and I wrote my comment. But Rhemma Consult replied and told me that this is the actual word that is supposed to be used, because that is the word they use in, like, professionally. So I thought that, oh no, you are wrong. Professionals, no, it should be professional. I'm in the body of professionals or something. But when I sent that message, Rhemma Consult got back to me and told me that, no, this is the right way. And I said, okay. So Rhemma Consult, again, they took me through from the start to the end, point by point. For instance, when I was submitting the petition at the post office, they were with me when I was submitting. When I was filling the when I was making the payment in terms of the how do you call it, the when I was sending the amount that I'm supposed to pay to them, the check, the checkbook, they went through it critically to realize that to check that everything is on point. I have not made any mistake, because if there is any mistake, if you don't sign somewhere, if you make a mistake by not signing the right spot, your petition is going to be denied, and that would be a very unfortunate situation. So Rhemma Consult went through the process with me from the first day to the last day I submitted it. Yeah.
So how long did, I know initially we submitted it as a regular processing, and then later you upgraded it to premium processing.
Premium. Yeah.
What motivated you to do that upgrade from regular to premium processing?
I thought that, so initially I didn't have, that money. That's why I submitted the regular. But upon having a second thought with my wife once again, we thought that, okay, why don't we do the premium processing to see the outcome? So if it is a positive outcome, we know it early. If it is a negative outcome, we know it early. Then we know the next thing forward. So we said, okay, why don't we do it? Then we submitted. We got in touch with you again, and Rhemma Consult was really understanding. Got me the necessary document that I should submit for the premium processing. And critically, he checked to see where it is going before asking me to fill all the documents and then submit it. So they were really with me. And I realized that I wanted to know the outcome earlier than waiting for all these months. So if it is positive, I will know it earlier. If it is negative, I will get to know it earlier. So that is what motivated me to do the premium processing.
Okay. And so just for clarity, how many days did it take after you put in the premium processing? How many days?
I think it took 10 working days for me to get the approval. Yeah.
Okay. So I would say I would end. I have two more questions. One, the last but one is, in what ways do you think we could improve our services better to meet the needs of our clients, if any?
I think so far what I experienced with Rhemma Consult, I was really satisfied. And probably what I can say about where you should improve is the pressure. The pressure was too much. So maybe you can reduce the pressure. You can just reduce the pressure. But I think the pressure is also it's really good for you to get the work done. If you didn't have given me the pressure, I'm sure we would still be working on it, which wouldn't be the best for me and for Rhemma Consult. But it's a good thing, and it's another thing on the downside. But I think it's okay. So generally, I didn't really have any negative or anything that you should improve on it, because you shared the document with me using a secured network. That is how do you call that one?
Google Drive.
Google Drive. Yeah, and I think that is secure. So for me, I think Rhemma Consult is doing great job. It's doing a great job. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other last remark before we open it up for those who may have questions?
Yeah, I will tell anybody who has who has planned that they want to do this NIW or EB-1. If you are ready to do it, I'll tell you that go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Do not listen to what people say. It doesn't matter whether you are in the US or you are in Africa or in Ghana or anywhere. You can still do it. But you need the services of the people that you think they have the competence to work on issues like this. It's not anybody that can really work on it. You need to get in touch with the right people who are results oriented. So Rhemma Consult was results oriented, and again, they were really empathetic. They put themselves in my shoes. And I think we got the best result that I was expecting.
Thank you for that as well. And again, if you're just joining us, like I said earlier on, Rhemma Consult is a firm that helps people for EB-1 NIW. And we've been doing it for a while now with a lot of approvals. And these interviews serve as a testament to what we do and a good job. If you're here, then I would like to say that on March 2nd, we're going to have one interview with another client that got an approval. It's going to be 10 a.m. Central Time on March 2nd, but those information will go out after this. But if you're just joining us, this is an opportunity for you to ask some question or questions you have as time permits. We have about the next 30 minutes to do that. So at this point, I'm going to open up for, if you have any questions, you can either just ask. I would call your name if I want to, or if you can also put it in the chat, that's okay. The questions can be directed at myself or at James if I feel it's prudent. And that being said, I think Percy had his hands up for a while. I don't know if Percy is a female or a male, but whoever Percy is, please feel free to ask your question.
Okay, hello.
Yeah,
my first question, it's about if you are not having any publication, can you still proceed with the application? And I also want to know what's the rough charge for your services if anyone wants to engage you in total, everything in total. What is roughly everything in total if anyone wants to engage your consultancy for this? Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to answer the first question and I'm not going to answer the second question. Because those second questions would have a follow-up, and if you want to, you can just reach out to me or reach out to Rhemma Consult. And before I forget, I'm going to put in the chat the email, the best email to get in touch, and then you can get all those information stated out clearly. That being said, let me tackle the one that I think is more important. Yes, so whether or not you need publications for this. If you go back and watch the video of Kofi, for example, he didn't have any publications. Likewise, Frank, his video is yet to be uploaded, but it has already been conducted. So to answer the question, it is really dependent on each and everybody, right? So some fields, it's very hard to get publications, right? So for example, if you take a field of mathematics, or even if you take a field of fine arts, right? These are programs that publication is not a big thing, right? And also, there are so many ways to make a case other than publications per se. So I won't say that publication is, you don't need it. I wouldn't also say that you need publications. I would say that it depends on your portfolio, right? So for example, I always use this example, like someone like Messi can easily get EB-1 or NIW, but he doesn't have publications. You can't even make a case that Messi needs publication to get approval for EB-1, right? So it's dependent on each and everybody's case, right? If you are a teacher, traditionally teachers don't need publications because their job is not research oriented, right? So depending on whatever your field is and depending on what you are doing, that will determine whether or not you need publications. But again, publications is not the only thing that the USCIS uses to adjudicate any case. If you have it, it's great. If you don't have it, there could be other ways, but again, those would depend on whether or not you are meeting the requirements. So it's more or less like, do you meet the requirements as opposed to do you have publications? I think Jima has his hand raised, so you can ask your question, Jima.
Yeah, I want to know, with James, he said he was confident of his profile, but he wasn't quite confident. I want to know what was the standout, what was standing out that made him feel, he was confident.
James, I think this is your question, so go for it.
Yes, I had the confidence because um, with my portfolios at that time, I had about, yes, we are not saying that publication is the best thing, but I had about 51 publications with 380 something publications as at that time.
Citation.
Citations as at that time. And I had also reviewed about 20 research articles. And all these are some of the requirements. If you have, it makes your case a very stronger case. So yes, these are some of the things that I thought that okay, I stood out with when I'm standing there with colleagues. So I was really confident about it. And the looking at my area of specialty that I put out that this is my area. I felt that okay, with all these portfolio, I thought that I was confident that I will be approved. But
Okay, thank you.
again, I was also not 100% confident. Yeah.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah,
thank you.
I think if James would recall, one of the first thing I said to him was that we should do an EB-1, but James Nankasana saw there. That is why. But anyway, I said that because I don't want that to be, I said a local dialect, that's fine, because I want it that way. I think James should have been an EB-1 client, but for some reason he felt that we should still go for an NIW. So that gives you an idea of Jima, why he was confident. And like I told him earlier on, this would have been a straight case for him. So NIW, that's obviously more than qualified. Hopefully that answers your question, Jima.
Yeah, thank you.
But just like I don't want you to get out of this interview that you need so many publications and so many citations. No, if you go back to Rhemma Consult, and I'm going to share the Zoom, not the Zoom, the YouTube link where you can actually see some of the other clients who didn't have much profile like that of James, and that you can go back and watch whenever you are, and then of course subscribe if you want to get more information. While I'm fetching those details, feel free to ask any question or follow-up question. We have about 23 minutes.
Look, someone asked the question.
What question?
Richard asked the question. Do you have clients with business background?
Let me post the YouTube channel. I was trying to get that. Yeah. So what was the? Do I have a client with business background? Yeah. So yes, with regards to that, this whole process is not dependent on the field you come from. In fact, one of the cases that I'm currently working on that is going to be submitted in about a week or two is a history field, right? History is a purely art field. I've worked with education. So for the field, yes, I've worked with a lot of different clients, even including French, right? So it is not really about, I'm sure maybe your question is gearing towards, is this thing really for STEM related programs? No, it is about requirements, whether or not you meet the requirements. And if you meet the requirements, it doesn't matter the field. See another question about how many references are required ideally for the petition, please. Okay, so in the case of James, we used only 2. There isn't any required number from anywhere. You can't find any required number because it is not even required. you think about it in terms of you are making a case for why someone should be granted based on certain requirements. If you think you need more letters to help you, that's fine. If the person has very objective evidence, right? The reason why I'm not giving you a straightforward answer is that there is no straightforward answer to it. I have some clients that I have never used letters of recommendation. Like you can go and watch the YouTube, someone like Prince. I didn't require any letter because I felt like he doesn't need anyone. In the past, some of them have used 3, some of them 2, some of them none. So there is no required number of references. It's not even required by USCI. So it depends on your portfolio and what I think is important. And also, I just got a question on like, no, there is no age background or anything. There is no age limitation. It's all based on requirement. Once you meet the requirements, you qualify. Yeah. So there is no age requirements. You can be whatever old. As far as you meet the requirement, that's good enough. Let me see. Okay. I think all the questions in the chat have been answered. So, Richard, is your hand still up?
Yes, I just wanted to clarify why I asked my question. First, thank you very much. And James, congratulations. I think the question I asked is in relation to the endeavor element. So because the background kind of goes with the endeavor that you're trying to do, and I think that is, for me, one of the main things I'm thinking about before trying to get support. Does it make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense.
So what I'm saying is your background would go with the endeavor that you need to, the proposed endeavor.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's why I was asking about the business background and the proposed endeavors.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've worked with a lot of different clients. Like I said, I've worked with French. I still don't know anything about French. I can't speak much French. I've worked with history clients. I don't know much about history, but my clients can tell you much. I've also worked with math, computer science, education, geography. Yeah, I did geography, did hydrological sciences, and yeah, and the French. Those are the weird ones that I can think. Oh, and yes, kinesiology, which James is part of. And again, it doesn't really matter. What really matters is about whether or not you meet the requirements, and you can get it regardless of the field you are in. It all depends on your portfolio and making a case, and whether or not I think you can make a case and you can get an approval. Do I see a question in the chat? Oh, kindly share the requirements briefly with me. I can do you better. I would share the site, the USCIS site, where you can take your time. And while doing that, Jima, is your hands up, or that was from previous ones?
Yeah, I have a second question.
Okay, go for it.
So I want to know if you try it for the first time and let's say you don't get accepted, are you allowed to try for the second time? And does it mean you have to repay everything for the USCIS, or how does it work?
Okay, good question. One of the things that I would like to pride ourselves in for Rhemma Consult is that all of our clients have had approvals, but it is possible that when an application is submitted, there won't be a direct approval. But this is how it works. If a case is submitted to USCIS, there are 2 things involved. They either tell you an approval or they give you a request for evidence. They would never give you a direct disapproval or rejection or denial. They will give you an opportunity to explain if they feel like you are not meeting some things that they want you to meet. And so that will be a second chance for you to really explain to them that, hey, you said I don't meet this and that, but I think I meet it. If after you reply to that and they feel like no, you are not submitting objective evidence, they have the right to deny you. And when they deny you, yes, you can reapply again after whenever you feel confident about the whole process. And at that point, there will be a payment again because that's going to be a new case, right? So, but that being said, that is one of the things that Rhemma prides ourselves that we haven't had even a request for evidence because of the amount of diligence and patience and details to attention. And also, it is really based on requirements and objective evidence. So if you don't have it, I will be frank with you and tell you that, hey, I don't think you meet this requirement. Work on this for the next 4, 5, 6 months, and then we can build a better case. So, but that gives you an answer to your question, hopefully.
Yeah. Thanks.
I think I just shared a link to the question that I think someone asked. Was it Sonyo? Yeah, Sonyo asked. Yeah, that will give you an idea of what it was. I'm going to count 20 seconds in my mind, and then after that, I guess we would wrap it up. Well, I just did. So once again, thank you all for coming. This is a couple of there are going to be a couple of interviews like this. Next month, March 2nd, like I said, there will be another interview with one of our clients. Okay. What was the question? How long do you wait?
Yeah, I want to ask a question. Please, how do we have access to the recording of what just happened, recording? Because I was trying to find the previous ones and I never had access to them. Thank you.
When you say that, you mean the videos, right? These kinds of interviews, right? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to, I think I put the link, but I'm going to put it in again. There are a couple of them that is still being uploaded to the YouTube channel, but I just put in the YouTube channel where you can see some of the videos that have been uploaded, but there are a lot of them that are yet to be uploaded. Some of these things take time. My technology people are working to make it fine and upload whatever they do. But I think by the end of next week, Frank's video should be up. And this will take a little bit of a time to be uploaded, maybe in a week or two. It just depends on the guy responsible for the whole technology thing. He does a good job. Yeah, so
Right, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the response.
yes. I think there was a question about how long do you wait? Oh, for that question, it's all about you've applied for something and they're giving you places you can improve. Whenever you meet those things, you can just do it again. So there is no time, like there is no required time. It's all about requirements. And that's one of the things that I see is that if you get the opportunity to use Rhemma services, I would be upfront with you, or any of my associates will be upfront with you and let you know that, hey, you don't have a case because and instead we can help you improve your case in the next 5, 6 months by telling you maybe consider doing this, consider doing that. And if you do it, and then it helps. And so basically, I've done that for some clients in the past, which of course in the month of April, I'm going to be interviewing some of them where they came to me and I'm like, hey, I think you don't meet it yet. Let's not waste time. but go do this, and in the next 3 or 4 months we would apply. And then they got an approval, but those interviews are going to show up in April. So definitely, if you come and I think it's not a good place, I won't even let you apply to begin with, so that we don't waste both of us our time. So that's the advantage of using Rhemma Consult. We get to tell you what is right or wrong. That being said, I think most of the questions pertaining to this have been answered. If you want any other detailed questions, please feel free to reach out to the email that I'm about to put, and then we can take it on, definitely for sure. Yes, I guessed it. So once again, I want to thank all of you for making it here, and be on the watch out or look out, because there's going to be one more interview like this for the month of March, and then a couple of them in the month of April. Thank you. And then if you feel confident, go ahead, apply. We've put in a lot of information. And then if you also want to use the services of Rhemma, feel free to shoot via email. Bye for now.